And we are live. Welcome to the Create Your New Life real estate session. We do it every week. Now that we've gotten past this cold weather, we can get back into some real work. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's get this show on the road. Again, showcasing my new Create Your New Life music, right? You should always have some music. All right, let me see if I can get the volume turned up better. Is that better, Margaret? Let me know. Give me a thumbs up or not. All right, anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this thing. So definitely want to say thank you for joining Brooks. And oh, it said it's not up. So you guys are having a hard time hearing me. Let me try to figure that out. Sean, what about you? Sean, are you able to hear me? Let's see. Sean, type into the chat and tell me, or in the group me. Well, Margaret, I first want to see if it's just you or if it's everybody. Sean, type a note in the group chat or in the group me and let me know. Oh, he's saying he can hear. Okay. All right. Well, we'll jump into this thing. Yeah, Margaret might just have to put your ear to the speaker, or maybe you might want to sign off and sign back on. Maybe that'll do better for you. All right. So, want to thank you for joining Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. We're always looking to give some good content, good information for our Create Your New Life session. So I want to welcome you, especially those individuals that are not a part of Brooks and Davis yet, not a part of us yet. But we appreciate you spending time with us today, just to hear a little bit about what we have to offer as an organization. So definitely want to thank you. We're always looking to grow our firm. So if you're interested in taking some action as far as looking at new firms, new company, then we'd love to have a sit down with you and show you how we can help in your development, which is what we're all about. It's about development, right? It's about you making money, you being successful. So, and it's not about getting caught up in all of these bells and whistles and fancy, shiny objects that everybody's throwing at agents. We want to offer substance. We want to offer a proven system that helps people when they get their real estate license make money. Right? Be successful. That's what we mean by being successful. You making money. So every day we work and we innovate and we research and we develop and we figure out ways to put our agents in a position to where they can generate revenue, income, and do what this session says, which is create a new life for themselves. That's our point. So definitely want to say thank you. Again, at any point, you want to stop me to engage, we can converse through the group me. We can converse on the group chat. Or you can unmute yourself and we can talk. And just to, again, it's not about me just talking, but I have plenty of content, plenty of things to talk about, especially today. But I think the magic is in our engagement. It's in our back and forth. There's a lot to be learned through those opportunities. So, all right. So today we titled it, Now That the Lead Generator is Working. Now, remember, we've been talking about our real success funnel. We've been talking about our success in real estate machine and the instructions and the manual to all of that. So we're going to continue that conversation. And we dealt with skill set number 1 last week, which is generate leads, and more leads, right? Well, now that those leads have been generated and you've become efficient in skill set number 1 and you're generating those leads, well, now what do you do now? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. As far as making those contacts, moving to the next skill set that you have to be proficient in. Remember, to be effective in that entire success funnel, you have to be proficient in all 6 skill sets. Like it's the one thing about real estate, man, it's all or nothing. Like you can't halfway yourself through this business. Like you got to be proficient in every single aspect of it. And that's a lot of the connecting the dots that most people don't really necessarily put in place. So that's what we're going to talk about today. The quote that I had connected, it says, there's a lot of failure in success. And it's funny how sometimes quotes come. So this particular quote actually came from me. It came from yours truly. So I was sitting there having a conversation. I can't even remember what the conversation was about. But whenever something pops out my mouth and I'm like, man, that's good, I write it down. And if you don't have a quote book, you need to do the same. Like these quotes and things that I'm giving, there are 2 lists that I have that I keep track of all the time. Number 1, it's a list for books. Like there's an interesting book that I want to add to my book list. Like last year I read 27 books, right? So my goal was 24. I wanted to read at least 2 books per month. Well, this year I'm shooting for 3 books a month, right? I'm gonna see if I can end the year with 36 books being read. Well, with that being the case, so I'm not losing any time, I constantly keep track. I have a list in my phone that anytime there's a book or something that comes across my path, list. So right now, starting the year, I've already identified the 12 books that I want to read for the first 3 months, right? So I already have that list. Makes it easy for me to kind of go through them. Well, the second list that I have is a quotes list, a list of quotes. I think quotes are very powerful, right? So especially when you're doing presentations, when you're talking to people in casual conversation, I think quotes are beautiful, beautiful things. So I have a list of quotes. So since I've been keeping up with other people's quotes, you know, every now and again, I'll get a jewel come out of my mouth and I'm like, boom, I like that. I'm gonna put that down somewhere. So this is one of the ones that came out, and it said, there's a lot of failure in success. And I thought that, especially for some of the things we're going to be talking about today, is a perfect fit because, you know, if you've never failed, one of the videos that we have associated with the Agent Development Institute, or the ADI, is a video that says, if you've never failed, you never lived, right? And the premise of the video is that there are all these individuals. I think they show Michael Jordan, they show Abraham Lincoln, they show some other individuals that it talks about all the things that they failed at, right? It talks about, you know, Michael Jordan, that he didn't start playing basketball, so he was a junior in high school, and he didn't make the team in his junior year. It talked about how all the shots that he missed and all the times that he messed up, all the areas that he failed. So it lists all these things first, and then it shows you the name of the person. It's the same thing with Abraham Lincoln. It talks about all the times, it talks about all the campaigns that he lost. And the one thing that I've really held true to, that there is going for success, there's a lot of failures that are associated and affiliated with it. Right? There's a lot of failure when it comes to the journey and the path of success, right? And so with that being the case, failure is one of the things that you should embrace, right? It's what comes with it, right? Failure comes with it. So don't shy away from failure, just run through it as much as possible. I love when they say that you've never failed until you stop moving, right? So that's the one commitment I made to myself, that I'm never going to fail. I'm never going to be a failure. Why? Because I'm never going to stop. I'm never going to stop trying to achieve the things that, especially when it comes to this organization behind us, right? We are going to be the #1 real estate company when it comes to production and profitability by 2020. We shoot for that, right? And if we don't hit 2020, boom, we're going to keep shooting for it. Why? Because we're never going to stop. We're never going to fail at achieving that goal, period. So that's what that quote was all about, that I've sent out with the descriptions and all of our marketing. There is a lot of failure in success. Okay, so now let's go ahead and jump into this thing and see how we performed over the week. This icy cold week, dancing, winter storm 2018, starting the year off right. Okay, so we have had some production added to the board. So we want to congratulate LaQuana. She got some production, as well as the corporate team. We were able to add some production onto the board this week. So right now we have a little less than 4 million. So remember, I like being above 4 million. I don't like having threes in front of my number. So let's go ahead and get out there Let's push it. I think with our new 60-day mantra, that's going to help us as far as moving in the particular direction and get more activity on the checklist. So we're going to get that started today. I mean, on the board, we're going to get that started today, as well as I want to throw out a goal that the corporate team has set, and I want to incorporate and include you guys and push you all to do it as well for the first quarter. So again, that number. So right now, the number on our board is 3.8 million. We're a little less than 4 million. All righty. Let's see who's our top producing agents. So really, we didn't have any week. So it's we have the same 5. Laquana, who is holding on to the top spot. So I want to definitely congratulate her. And then we have Charles Adams, Richard Giles, my guys in the middle, Garland Harris, out with Kim Stubblefield. So congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. Keep up the good work. Let's keep rocking this thing out. All right, so now it's a new year, 2018. We're 18 days into the new year, right? So now it's time for us to start our next 60-day mantra, the next 60 days mantra. Now, I have to be candid with you. I did borrow this from Mr. Brian Buffini. Brian Buffini is somebody that we're affiliated with. We're one of their we're part of their coaching organization. So we get, you know, we get the items of value, the good information. I love those little handouts that they print. So it's like my own personal printing company. So I like to hand those things out, take them to expos, mail them out. So we get those. We get the thank you cards. I think they do beautiful thank you cards. So another thing that they do is they have this thing called a blitz, to where it's seasonal. So it's like the first, I think, 75 days of the month. Then it's during the summertime, and then to close the year out. So they call them these 3 blitzes. Well, you know, as they're gearing up for their next blitz, which started on Monday, you know, what should the mantra be for us for our next 60 days? Like, you know, whenever I start a new year, I'm always about starting off fast, like hopping onto that thing. Because the one thing about the holidays, you can get lulled. It's the same thing with what we've experienced over this last 48 hours. When you have a situation that throws you completely off a routine, it throws you off a track, lose momentum. So you want to be intentional, pushing past the lull, so you can maintain the momentum and not lose too much ground, right? So so when thinking about what our 60-day mantra should be, the one thing that I pulled, I liked that term blitz, right? Because, you know, obviously it's a term used in football, but my first knowledge of the word came from World War II, which was a military tactic that the German army had implemented, right? So the mantra that I wanted to use for our next 60 days moving forward is Blitzkrieg, right? Blitzkrieg. Because Blitzkrieg, what we want to do is we want to be intense. It says a Blitzkrieg was an intense military campaign intended to bring about a swift victory, right? So Blitzkrieg was all about fast and hard. Fast and hard. So these next 60 days, I want you to start your business off fast, and I want it to go hard. I want you to be intense about building momentum, moving past the lull that we might have experienced out of these holidays, Christmas, New Year's. You know, it just wasn't a lot of activity going on. So now ramp it up, right? So we're going to ramp it up these next 60 days, and we're going to go on the Brooks and Davis Blitzkrieg to hit this thing and turn this thing over. So we're starting it today. So where should we be, right? As of today, 662,000, right? Well, we're not there. But now that we know, now that we've got it going, right now we're at 345,000. We know what type of work we need to do to get our number up. So let's Blitzkrieg. I want you guys to Blitzkrieg with us. Blitzkrieg with me. Let's get your business jumping Again, it's an intense. We want to be intense, and we want to move swiftly because we want to go into the second quarter with a cushion, right? So let's blitzkrieg. Now, the one thing that I wanted to add is, and I talked about this last week, the corporate team, we're setting a goal of by April 8th, we want to have added $2.47 million worth of new listing volume, right? And we want to close $2.37 million worth of listing volume. Now, it's solely on the listing side of things, right? Well, every Create Your New Life session, I'm going to be speaking kind of during this time, during our 60-day cycle, speaking about our corporate team goal. Why? Because I want you all to participate. I want you to shoot for the same goal because, like I said last time, listings bring buyers, right? So if you want to have a base, if you want to have, I use my shoe store analogy. You want to have a store, a real estate store. Well, if you have a real estate store, that means you have to have product that brings customers to you. Product in real estate is houses for sale. Is what brings people to you, right? The same thing with programs. So houses and programs, properties and programs. That's what brings people. And you not out there always trying to track people down, beating the streets, trying to chase people. See, if you have something that people see valuable, then they'll call you. I'll use an example. So you got properties. So you pick your listings up for a reason to reach out to you and call you. Well, the same thing with programs like our pre-home buyer session or the Financial Homeownership First program. That's a program that brings people to us. The IMB project, that's a that's kind of both of them, right? You're offering the new house, but it hasn't been built yet, so it's like a concept. So it's like a program and a property, again, used to bring people, to generate customers for you. We have the Dating a For Sale by Owner program that we have. Again, it's something to offer to people selling their house, right? It brings customers to you, right? And then when you're able to get their property, then now you've created some shadows, some pseudo inventory that you can push, right? To add to your store. It's like it's on consignment, right? You don't own it, but you can use it to drive customers to you. So look, set a goal of, I want to add this amount of listing volume, whether it's this month, say it doesn't have to be 90 days, 30-day goal. Set a 60-day goal and say within the next 30 or within the next 60 days, I want to have brought on $100,000, $500,000, $1 million worth of new listing. Now notice, I didn't say number. I didn't say transactions or units. I didn't say I want to bring in two new listings or I want to bring in 5 new listings. I didn't say that because units don't mean anything to me, right? Because we don't get paid a percentage of the units. We get paid a percentage of the volume. So volume matters to me, right? Because I can have 5 units that are $10,000. That's $50,000 worth of volume. That's $1,500 commission when you get paid 3%. Or I can have 1 unit of $500,000. Now, which would you take? Would you take the 5 units of $10,000 or the 1 unit of $500,000? I know which one you would take. You would take the 1 unit. So that's why I don't care about units. I don't care about numbers. I care about volume. So it's not we're going to add 10 new listings. It's we're going to add $2.47 million worth of volume. Whether that comes in 1 listing, 10 listings, 20 listings, 100 listings. I don't care. That's the amount of volume that we're going to add. So you do the same thing. Set a goal. And when you set that goal, you need to look at it every single day. The reason that it's easy for me to spit out that number, 2.47 million, 2.46 million, and 2.37 million, the reason it's easy for me to spit them numbers out is because I look at it every single day. That means every single day Michael G. Davis, when you get out the bed, this is what we're trying to accomplish by April 8th. Move towards it. I look at my 5-year goal, my 1-year goal, my key quarterly goals, my monthly goal, my weekly goal, and every day I look at those things. And I determine what I'm going to do today to help me achieve all of those goals. Every single day I look at them. You need to do the same. If you, especially, and it's great to have this conversation now that we're in January, if you are going to have any level of success, whether that's in a goal, a resolution, I don't care what you call it. If you're going to have any level of success in those things, you need to make sure that you have something set up to where you see it every single day. What most people do is they'll set an annual goal and they don't look at it again until next year when they realize they didn't achieve their goal, right? Every single day, you got to be looking at it, right? You want to accomplish something, you got to look at that thing every single day, whether that's weight loss, whether that's with your business, whether that's spending more time with your children, whatever the case may be. You have to, if you're going to be serious about it, every day you need to inundate your mind with it, because your subconscious, your mind is what tells everything else what to do. Your mind, your brain, you can't do nothing. This body of yours can't do anything without your mind first telling it. So that's why you need to feed it and show it and remind it every day that this is what we're looking to do. This is our agenda. This is our daily agenda, right? Because if you don't set an agenda for yourself, trust me, these outside circumstances, they will set it for you. Your clients will set your agenda for you. If you're still working, your bosses, your company will set your agenda for you if you don't set it. So you got to set your own agenda first, and then you force everybody else to operate around your agenda instead of them forcing you to operate around their agenda, right? Again, we're talking about quality of life. We're talking about creating this thing and changing this thing. So boom, that's what it's about. Set the goal. Set a goal of listing volume. Matter of fact, when you set the goal, text me. Tell me what the goal is. Put it in the group meet. Send an email. Let somebody know what the goal is, right? Why? It's another level of accountability, right? I'm telling you guys what our goal is. So that means come April 8th, you guys can look at my face and say, hey, did you get the $2.47 million worth of listing inventory? And I got to bring it to the stage. Did I do it? Did I not do it? So now that's even added motivation for me to get out here and do the extra above and beyond so I can achieve the goal, right? That stuff's healthy and it's good. If you want to be successful, you got to have that stuff built around. Those are the things that's going to push you to achieve the levels that you want. So you need to have those added incentives pushing you towards it, right? Nobody's disciplined enough to do this stuff without incentives. Believe me, right? You can look at the most successful person in the world and trust me, if there has to be some incentives around him, whether positive or negative, that are pulling him towards the level of success that he's achieving. Any of us are personally disciplined enough to just do it without external help or incentive. Just believe that. So there's no need for you to feel like you are not capable of doing the things that I'm talking about. You're very capable for doing these things. It's just you have to put the measures in place, right? And stop trusting the level of discipline. Because if you just continue, and most of us do this, if you just continue trusting in my own power, within my own will, then you're going to constantly be disappointed because none of us are built that way, right? We all need external help and motivation and accountability. So set you to go. All right, let's see. What do we go to now? New listing showcase. So our new listing that we want to showcase today, it's an oldie but goodie. It's one of the ones that we've had for some time, but this is the year. This is the month, the quarter. We're going to get it sold so I can add it to that 2.37 million. You know, for me, I have to sell $100,000 worth of production every week if I'm going to hit my goal, right? And I have to bring on $190,000 worth of new volume, listing volume every week if we're going to hit our goal. So this is one of those ones that I need to get it sold so I can add it to my number. I think it's an excellent property. It's on a huge lot, huge lot, right? It's an older home, does need some updating, but I think at this price, when you look at it from a comparable standpoint, it's a good property. One of the challenges that we have been having with it, and the reason that we've somewhat had it for as long as we've had, is because it is a short sale. So with it being a short sale, and the reason I'm going out of this is because I want to pull up the MLS write-up. So it is a short sale. So we are dealing with that situation, but I know how to do short sales. I'm certified in it, so we can move quickly through the process. Again, I think it's an excellent property. The lot size is 8,800 square feet. It's on a corner lot, right? So this is perfect for somebody that wants to live on the northern side of town, right? Whose children are zoned to the Klein ISD, solid school district. It's on a corner in a huge lot. So it's also great for people that are entertaining, right? Who like to entertain and need the space, right? 2,200 square feet is under 150,000. We know it ain't no properties out there that's under 150,000. So if you have one of those clients that's affordability number where we're having all these challenges between 150 and 175, look, this is perfect. Like, where are you going to go find a house that's 2,200 square feet for under 150,000, right? So they definitely ain't building no brand new houses like that. So 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. So this is a perfect property for, again, they put in a little bit of sweat equity, but it doesn't need major repairs. It's just, needs some new flooring in some areas, some updating, right? It is close to a lot of shopping. It's close to food, grocery stores. So, I mean, it's in a good neighborhood. I think this is an excellent property. So look, I need you guys, as we showcase this property here, go ahead and help me out. Help us move it. Help us get this one sold, right? 149,000. We can work that short sale process and we can get it done. So, set your appointments. If you got the buyer out there, 150,000, and you guys are having some major challenges trying to get them into a property, hey, it's a good deal. This is a great deal. This house anywhere else is north of 175,000, believe me, right? Maybe in some areas upwards of 200,000. So we know that it's a great buy based on just the house and the size itself. So bring me a buyer, set an appointment. Let's get it sold. Let's get it sold. All right. So we were supposed to go to Ravenna yesterday, but God felt differently. And God said, I'm going to make it really pretty, because it was really pretty yesterday, but it's still going to be really cold. So y'all need to stay for tomorrow. So because of that, we wasn't finna drive y'all to Cyprus and had it on my conscience if anything happened, right? Definitely wasn't about to fool with $290. So we had to cancel it. Well, it wasn't canceled. We rescheduled it, right? So we rescheduled it. It's going to be for the 31st. Now, prior to that, though, oh, look at me. I'm jumping the gun. Let me just talk about this and then go back. All right. Now, prior to that, we are having our sales tips with a twist. So I sat down with Mr. Graydon Houston. He's the principal for 360 Tax Group, right? Now, what I like about Graylin is that not only does he own a tax company, he also owns a mortgage company and some other sales businesses. He's been in sales a very long time. And based on the conversation that I had with him, he had a lot of knowledge and insight that I thought would be great for our organization, especially as we're going into the new year. So we set it up for next Thursday, sales strategies, spirits, and hors d'oeuvres. Now, you know how I do. I know y'all like to eat, and I know y'all like to drink. So I'm like, Graylin, if we're going to do this, and it's going to be in the evening during happy hour time, we need to go ahead and bring in some happy hour type stuff. So we're going to have some spirits there. We're going to have some hors d'oeuvres, and we're going to be having a conversation about sales strategies that you could start doing immediately. See me, you know me, I ain't about this ambiguity. I'm not about just, pulling pie in the sky type of concepts. I'm about what can I do tomorrow, right? What can I begin implementing in my business to help my bottom line, help me generate more money, not help me look like I'm making money, not help me, make people laugh, not help me get a whole bunch of eyes and a whole bunch of, views and people looking at me. What can I do to help increase my bottom line? Now, I get it. We're in real estate. It ain't going to be you do this now and you get paid tomorrow. I understand that. But I still need to be doing something now that within 90 days at least, I'm going to be feeling the physical equivalent of this activity, which is greenbacks, money. So it has to be some level of correlation that if I do this now, then at a later period, I'm going to see results. The farmer, he plants his seeds now because he knows when the harvest comes, he's going to see the results. When the season of the year happens, the springtime, he's going to have a harvest that he's going to have to work, and he's going to see the results. It's the same thing with us. So we're going to be doing that on next Thursday. Sales strategy, spirits, and hors d'oeuvres. Sales tips. I highly encourage you. Take advantage. Come meet Graylin. These strategies and these tips to get you on the way. Make sure you RSVP at the office. You can do it in the group me, in the email. You can call the office. You can do any of those 3 ways to RSVP for this event. All right. Now, like I said earlier, scheduling the tour for Wednesday, January 31st. So that's not next Wednesday, it's the following Wednesday. And again, it's going to be in Cyprus. Need you to RSVP. Now that obviously that RSVP number has changed, we love to have your RSVP in by the Monday of that week. So if that's Wednesday, more than likely the Monday will be January 29th. So please RSVP by the 29th. If you're going to the, so go ahead and RSVP for them. Do it now. You ain't doing nothing but just sitting here letting me run my mouth. So if it's something that you're interested, that you're able to go to, go ahead and put it in the group me right now and secure your seat for our sales tips with a twist, which is next Thursday, and our tour of Bridgeland on next Wednesday. I think both of these are going to be excellent events and for us to see. And Ravenna, I want you to understand about Ravenna Home Builders. This is a luxury home builder. Like, this isn't just your regular person. Like, go to their website, check them out. Like, this is luxury living. So these are the kind of houses that you want to position yourself with, puts you in front of a different kind of clientele, right? So again, take advantage of these events that we have going on next week. All right. So I went ahead of myself and should have been talking about our proprietary program. So let me go backwards a little bit, because again, this is something that I always want to show when it comes to, again, value proposition. This is something that you need to do personally for your business. What differentiates you from everybody else? There are 36,000 licensed professionals in our Metroplex. So that means there are 35,999 people who do what you do. What makes you different, right? So just like we say, that's something that you have to determine. I'll help you determine it, right? Because not everybody has to be the same thing. Like, be what you like to be. Like, are you into schools and neighborhoods? Well, be that person. Are you into helping elderly people get into homes? Be that. Like, are you into football and sports? Well, figure something out that connects what you're into, who you move around, what kind of circles you move around in, and figure out a way to offer some level of uniqueness to that market, right? A great book that I just finished reading is called The Purple Cow by Seth Godin. I think that's a good book for you to read, and it talks about marketing. And the point of what Seth was saying, where you have these ad agencies, these brand agencies, and this is a book they wrote in 2005. So you have these big brand agencies, And they focus on taking a product and exposing it. What's the plan? What's the marketing idea that we're going to do to launch this to everybody, to the masses, right? And what Seth says about the purple cow, and the reason he called it the purple cow, because he's like, you driving down the street and you see a cow. If you've never seen a cow before, you're amazed. You're like, man, look at that cow. Whether it's white and black, whether it's brown cow, whatever the color of the cow is. You're like, man, that's an interesting looking cow. Or that's an interesting looking thing. That's a cow. You've never seen a cow before. But look, check it out. We've had cows here forever. Now everybody knows what a cow is. We look at cows. So you drive down the street now, you probably ain't gonna pay attention to the cow that's over there. You see the white and black cow. You see the dairy cow right there, but you ain't paying no attention to it. Why? Because it's a cow. I didn't care about a cow. But what if the cow was purple? Now, if the cow was purple, you look at the cow. Matter of fact, you probably stop, pull over, walk over, and be like, man, is that a purple cow? I ain't never seen no. We got our phones. We start Instagramming that thing, taking pictures, social media, Facebook. Man, do you see this purple cow? That's his point, right? You got to figure out something that is going to get people to pay attention, and it has nothing to do with the method. It has to do with the product, right? Or the service. That now is the new marketing. It has to include what you design, what's your offering, right? How is that different? Because if you create something that's unique, that's different, a way to do this business that nobody else is doing, or I wouldn't even say nobody else, a small amount of people. I mean, you can maybe see what somebody else is doing and duplicate it if it hasn't been tried or true in your market, if people aren't familiar with it. You can even go from that perspective. You ain't got to go to the all the way extreme of this is completely brand new, the next best thing, nobody's heard about it when it comes to real estate and the way that we do business. You ain't even got to do that, right? But my point is just like Seth talked about, it's a constant cycle. You should always be thinking about, how can I be different as a real estate professional? How can I offer a different level of service that nobody else is offering in my market? What's going to make me different? That should always be on the forefront of your mind. And if it isn't, this business is passing you by. Believe me, it is. You're not making any money in this business. So you have to always constantly be thinking that way. So I said that to say this is something that we're always doing, right? We're always looking for a way to make our company, our organization different from other brokerage firms. Because when a person gets their real estate license, there's a plethora, just like there's a plethora of licensed professionals in our Metroplex, there's a plethora of options for a realtor as far as a company to join, right? We know that. So since we know that, and I don't care, yeah, we could spend a whole bunch of money just putting flyers and billboards and commercials. We can do all of that. But this is the thing. Real estate. It's real estate. Like it's born, like ain't nothing special to it. So there's no point. We've decided from a marketing standpoint that we're going to subscribe to the Seth Godin way of doing things, which is create the differentiator, and then let the marketplace spread the uniqueness of it, right? Because trust me, if there's a purple cow on the side of the road, ain't nobody got to advertise that purple cow. The word gonna get out. Because probably after you see the purple cow, you probably gonna tell everybody in your phone, everybody on your social media, everywhere. That thing's gonna go viral, right? And that's the point, is that if the product is good enough, if the service is unique enough, the word will get out on its own. It'll become personally viral. So you don't have to spend a lot of money on marketing at that point because the product is revolutionary. So we're always shooting for that next big revolutionary thing that's going to take Brooks and Davis and it's going to spread the word, right? So now these are all the things that you all have access to already, right? And I believe that they're good product services and programs, and we're always looking to improve upon them, right? So the one that I really want to speak about today is the 15% time. That's a policy that we launched last year. And that 15% time is all about doing what I'm telling you to do now. It's about taking time out of your day, at least 15% of your work day, right? So that means if you work 8 hours, that's 1 hour out of your day devoted to thinking of a way to, number one, improve your customer base, improve the customer base, your client, our organization, Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, or the real estate industry in general. Come up with something that's truly revolutionary, that is going to flip this thing upside down. Come up with that next big thing that nobody else has, that once people get exposed to it, that next level of service, that next level of engagement, that thing, that's something that people can't duplicate. Or when they try to duplicate, it's too late because you cornered the market when it comes to real estate. And I'm saying keep it in that space. Something for real estate customers, something for real estate clients, something for the Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, something for the industry. Keep it within those boundaries, right? And then exert your energy and effort in working through that thing and figuring it out, right? That's what 15% time is all about. I'm not saying go and try to figure out the next app or the next software. Now, look, if that comes out of it, hey, great. But it doesn't necessarily have to be that, right? It could just be a different niche on how you do a property showing. Like something as simple as that. Do your property showing a certain way, right? That nobody else is doing it. So when you take somebody out to show them a property and you give them that experience, it's going to make them want to tell somebody else and tell somebody else and tell somebody else. So the word's going to get out. Maybe it has something to do with when you pick up a listing, something that you do that nobody else does, right? Like it doesn't have to be that you launch a tech startup in Silicon Valley. Like it don't have to be that. But the whole idea of it is that you take time every day, right? At least 15% of that time, and you come up with that next thing, right? Right now, we have a couple of things that's in the fire that I'm extremely excited about, right? And I've included me and Jessica. I got Jessica working on it with me. And I'm excited. I can't wait till it come out because I think it's really going to be revolutionary when it comes to the progression of a brand new agent from not making any money to making money. Like I think it's going to be evolutionary. So I'm excited about it. And again, that's the type of things that we're talking about. And these are the type of things that we believe our programming is when it goes from the recruitment rally to the pre-home buyer session to the affiliate program, the IMB project, all of these different products that you all have access to that we talked about last week that can help you generate leads. All of these things can help you generate leads, which is the very first skill set. Okay, so now it is 2018. It is January 18th of 2018. A couple of things going on January 18th. One of them is I got my nephew's birthday is today. So shout out to my nephew, NDJ, Nathan Davis Jr. It's his birthday. Good friend of mine, Terrence Halbert. His birthday is today on the 18th. My birthday was on the 14th, which was Sunday. Now, but there's something even better between my birthday, January 14th, and today, January 18th, was on yesterday, January 17th, 10 years ago, Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm was formed. We've celebrated. This is our 10-year anniversary. Our 10th anniversary year, I guess. So this whole year is all about Brooks and Davis turning 10, right? So we turned 10 officially. As of yesterday, we have turned 10. So we're officially in our 10-year year. And I'm hella excited about it. Why? Because most companies, they don't make it past 5 years. A lot of companies don't make it past 1 year. So for us to make it past 10 years, right? Think about it. How many of y'all can think of things that y'all have done for at least 10 years, right? Doing the same thing for 10 years, right? Well, boom, 10 years. So proud of what we've accomplished and so proud of what the next 10 years is going to look like. So 10-year year, inside of your agenda, I want to say last year or the year before last, I can't remember, but I did a video that talks about our story. And I think it would be good for you all to, if you have seen it, look at it again. That's the video that I was playing when we started the Create Your New Life session today. That was the video I was playing. But take a look at it again. See some of the triumphs and the trials that we experience in creating this company, right? So if you go to your agenda for today's talk, you'll see Happy 10-Year Anniversary BDREF, the video. You click there, it'll take you to the video, right? It's another reason why I felt that the quote, there's a lot of failure and success. The reason that I know that is because Brooks and Davis real estate firm is 10 years. There are plenty times in that 10-year mark that I didn't think Brooks and Davis was going to make it. I was going to have to go get a job. I was going to have to shut this thing down. Plenty times where people would have seen it as a failure, or we failed and in this respect or that respect. So I know it. I know from the I got a front row seat, a front row look at the amount of failure that's associated with success, right? So I think it would be great. Take a look at that. Take a look at that video. I talk a lot about the trials and the things that we had to experience. And we just kept going, right? Because remember, I made a promise to myself, will never fail. Why? Because I'm never going to stop. Never going to stop. Keep this thing going. So happy 10-year anniversary, Brooks and Davis real estate firm. Be on the lookout. We're going to put together, we have a proclamation coming from the city, as well as we're going to have a party here to really celebrate and expose to the world that, you know, what we've done. So be on the lookout for that. All righty, let's go ahead and jump into our training for today. Before we do that, we want to the piece of our core ideology that I want us to focus on, or that I want us to talk about today, is, I said it earlier, is our big, hairy, audacious goal, right? Brooks and Davis real estate firm, we are shooting to be the #1 real estate company in the state in production and profitability by 2020, right? That gives us 2 years. Now, this is what I'm going to say. I'm not going to change it until it's 11:59 p.m. of December 31st of the year 2020. I'm not going to change this goal. It's going to say we're going to be the #1 real estate company in the state in production and profitability by the year 2020. Now, in the event it gets to 11:59 p.m. on December 31st of 2020, and we are not the #1 real estate company in the state in production and profitability, guess what? We're going to change the goal. I'm telling you, we're not stopping. We are going to be the #1 real estate company. And however long it takes is however long it takes. So right now, this is what we're shooting for. Now, what does the #1 real estate company in the state, who is that right now? Well, as far as I know, it's Keller Williams Realty in Arlington. They have 14 offices, 4,300 agents. Their production in 2016 was $8.79 billion. And their average sales price was $260,000 was their average sales price. And they did 33,000, almost 34,000 transactions. That is crazy. 34,000 transactions in a calendar year. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. But that's what they did. 8.79 billion. Now, before we can go after them, we got to get out of the city, our metroplex. So the #1 real estate company right now in the Houston metroplex is Martha Turner Sotheby's. I don't know how many offices they have, but I do know they have 281 agents. And their production, which was year to date, I want to say it was year to date 2017. And I think when I first did this slide, it was in September. They did $426 million. And that's a lot. So 426, almost $500 million worth of production. Their average sales price was $709,000, and they did 600 transactions. So that's the #1 real estate company now in our Metroplex, 600 transactions. Remember, I don't care about transactions. What do I care about? Volume, production. We ain't trying to be the #1 real estate company in the state in transactions and profitability. We're in production and profitability, because that's what we get paid off of, the amount of production that we sell. So that's what we're shooting for, people. Get on the train, get on the rocket ship. We're going to make it, right? Never giving up, always shooting for it. Because why not? You don't shoot for that. What else? You got to shoot for something. Not you get bored. I don't want to be bored in life. I want to have an exciting life, right? So I shoot for big stuff, big goals. Why not? So that's what we're shooting for, people. We're shooting for that. All right, now let's jump into the good stuff. Realtor Success Funnel. We are creating the Success in Real Estate Machine. See, last week I talked about what that is. What is the Success in Real Estate Machine? Well, like any machine, you should be able to hit a switch and it just starts going, right? And once it goes through its cycle, on the other end of it, you have something, right? So that's the Success in Real Estate Machine. Now, if anybody doesn't understand what it is, let me know. We'll talk about it some more, because look, I really believe that the concept and the idea is very important if you are going to have success in this business. You have to get it to where it is operating outside of you. You have to get it there, because if not, then you're always going to be feeling like you don't have any time in the day. The world's passing you by. You're not making any money. That is not how this business is supposed to be operated. Yet, there are way more people operating a business like that than they are people operating it by the way that I'm talking and training you guys on, right? You have to switch it to where you're not working for the real estate business. The real estate business is working for you. So that's why I call it a machine. You have to create a machine that gives you success in real estate. That's what this is all about. You turn it on, you send your product through it, the machine does what it does, and on the outside of it, you got money, right? So that's what this funnel is all about. And last week, what we talked about was you turn the machine on, you feed the leads go through the machine you made, and on the outside of the machine, the other side of the machine, you have money. So this machine turns leads into money, right? Now, last week we talked about our skill set, our first skill set. The first skill set right here at the top is generating leads, and more leads, right? How do you maximize? How do you constantly push the number of your leads being generated to the max? How do you constantly push it, right? Now, a very important thing when it comes to generating leads, and I don't think that I talked about it last week, but it kind of goes in between this skill set and that skill set, is you have to have something that you're tracking, that you're keeping track of your leads, right? That's very important. And it has to be, you can utilize your client relationship management system. You can utilize that, and we're going to talk about that today. You can utilize that as the thing that helps keep track of your leads. But there are also other ways to do it that may be more proficient with what you're trying to accomplish, right? For how you work things. I'll give you an example. The corporate team, we don't use our client relationship management to keep track of our leads. We use a Google Doc. We use a spreadsheet, right? And the spreadsheet, and we have it for every month. Every month of the year, we put every single lead that comes through this office, right? That's how I know how many leads come through the office. That's how I know we have between 100 and 150 leads, right? Well, here's what that looks like. So I'll pull up. So down here, I'll go to the month of January. So this is January 2018. Right? So right now, these are all the leads that have called into our office. And whether they're buyer leads, seller leads, agent leads, these are all leads. And we're keeping track of these things. So we've had, as of January 18th, today, we'll say yesterday, because they might not have added anything. All right. So as of January 16th, we have 53, because if we don't count the top, let me see. Oh, these numbers get out of order. $48 leads is what we've had so far this month, right? So it's important, and again, you don't have to have some complicated software that somebody's going to try to sell you on. It doesn't have to be that complicated, right? You can just use a spreadsheet as a way to keep track of the leads that you're generating, whether buyers, tenants, apartments, sellers. Like, you want to be able to keep track of those pieces. Now, the reason that I said that it was in between, skill set number 1 and skill set number 2 is because when it comes to skill set number 1, and you want to generate leads, and more leads, it's important that you have some type of tracking mechanism which helps facilitate your follow-up, which takes us to skill set number 2, right? Skill set number 2 is making contact with your leads and consistent follow-up. So now that we have all the things that we talked about last week, as far as using the proprietary programming, networking, calling people in your phone, knocking on doors, calling for sale by owners. Last week we talked about all these different methods and ways that you could generate leads, and more leads to push that number to the max, right? So we talked about all of that last week. Now, well, once you've done that and you've become effective, and you've turned the lead generate. So now you got skill set number 1, you're effective in that. You got that part of the machine built, and boom, you hit the switch, and now that thing's turning over. So now you got leads being generated, right? So now that the leads are being generated, if you don't do anything else, like if you don't now deal with skill set number 2, then it's just a waste. Then skill set number 1 is not working. Like, it has to be something that's leading into it, right? It's like having an empty pipe. So say the goal is to take the water from the faucet to the pool, right? So you build this elaborate piping system that's connected to the water faucet, and now that pipe has to be built all the way to the pool if you want to get water in the pool. Now, if you create the faucet, you create the initial part of the pipe, but you stop and it doesn't go all the way to the pool, well, if you turn the water on and water's coming out of it, you're not accomplishing your goal, are you? You just got wasted water. You just got water everywhere. Water is just everywhere. Well, that's what it is with these leads. Well, you can have the faucet, you can have the pipe going, but if you don't have the next piece of the pipe, which is making contact in your follow-up protocol, then now you just got leads all over the place. Your leads are just falling everywhere. They're all over the floor, all over the countertop, just all over the grass, just leads everywhere. Where the leads at, right? They ain't doing nothing for you. That's why You got to continue to build this thing. You got to build through all 6 skill sets, because if not, you're not going to get water in the pool. So this is the next piece of the pipe, right? It's the making a contact with your leads and consistent follow-up. So now you have all of these leads flowing, coming. You turn that part on, it's coming through. Well, now you have to become efficient in number 1, following up with those, like making contact with those leads as soon as possible. Now, I read a book called How I Raised Myself from Success to from Failure to Success in Sales. My man's name escapes me, but the book was written like in the 1950s. Frank Bettger, that was his name. Boom, I knew it would come to me. Frank Bettger. So, How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success in Sales by Frank Bettger, right? Wrote it in the 50s. And one of the things that he said when it came to prospecting was, the question he posed was, well, when you get a new lead, how fast should you follow up with them, right? Like if somebody send me a text and say, hey, I know somebody that's looking to buy a house, it's their phone number, right? So how fast should you follow up? Like, is it okay to wait? You know, maybe I'm driving, so I need to get to the office. So maybe I call them in 30 minutes, or maybe I call them in an hour. Maybe I call them tomorrow, right? I'm in the middle of something right now. You know, it's how fast should you follow up, or how fast should you make contact? Well, this is what Frank said. Now listen, I read this book 10 years, maybe 9 years ago. So I read this book some time ago, right? Before Brooks and Davis, I read this book. But even though I read this book that long ago, this thing, right, this one of the things that I got from the book has stayed with me all this time. And I still do it to this day. He said, when you get a new lead, you should make contact with them within 6 minutes. Now, I don't know where he got the 6 from. Why not 5 minutes? Why not 3 minutes? Why not 7 minutes? I don't know. But the book says 6 minutes. Within 6 minutes, you should be calling them people, whatever it is. So now that is something, that's a concept that I've taken from 9 years all the way up to this point, and I still do it to this day, and I still coach on it. 6 minutes. There needs to be a sense of urgency when you get a lead. A lead is a beautiful thing. People are paying for leads. Zillow, we had to give them their walking papers. Yeah, almost $500 a month. For what? Leads. Man just called me today trying to sell me on some concept of generating people to our Facebook business page. Wants me to pay him $65 a month. What am I paying for? Leads. $65 a month. So what that means is leads are valuable. So if you get one, you need to treat it like it's valuable. You need to call it within 6 minutes. You need to call within 6 minutes. And you need to get them on the phone. So that's the first piece of the skill set. The second skill set, something as simple as when I get the lead, I need to be in a position to where I can call the lead within 6 minutes, no matter where I'm at, no matter what I'm doing. So now as you're driving leads, they have to be driven somewhere, whether they're being driven to your email, whether they're being driven to your phone, your text message, your phone call, whatever. But they all need to be moving to something that you get notified on a regular, on an immediate basis. Follow up with them within 6 minutes. It's imperative. Now, let me tell you something about that. Today, we're talking about being unique. We're talking about being set above the crowd. Trust me, if you calling people back within 6 minutes, you being set above the crowd. If somebody is on looking at one of your listings and they send a request on HAR, and if you call them back within 6 minutes, trust me, son, you set yourself above anybody else they've been dealing with, right? If somebody, I mean, you'll be amazed just by answering your phone. I had a lead last week, and I answered the phone. That's all I did was just answer the phone when the dude called. And for him, it was like, wow, you don't know how many people that I've called that hasn't answered or returned my phone call. Just the fact that I answered the phone set me above everybody else, right? Listen, the mark's not high. It's not high, right? I love the Ford F-150 commercial when they say, we don't just raise the bar, we are the bar. Boom. Be the bar. Don't raise the bar. Be the bar. Set it, right? Answering the phone. So that's the first skill set. Be in a position to where you can be responsive. Be responsive to the people that are calling. Follow up with them within 6 minutes when making contact with the leads. Now, guess what? Just like last week, I have all of this stuff on your agenda, right? So I went in, found all the Create Your New Life sessions, which speak to this skill set, right? The how to find a fortune, right? That's what that's all about, because the statement is fortune's in the follow-up. So that's why we named that training How to Find the Fortune. It's how to find follow-up, like how to create your follow-up protocol and some techniques and some concepts on building your follow-up protocol, right? Taking the leads, getting them, contacting them, and building the follow-up protocol around it. So how to find your fortune. The right database management. That was one of the newest Create Your New Life sessions that we talked about. And the reason that you got to look at that is because just like any follow-up protocol has to deal with what you're feeding into the database. Like you have to have something in place to where you can follow up. Now, I showed you the lead tracker. You keep track of your leads. You can use the Excel spreadsheet as long as you build in the habit of going to it every day, right? But the best efficient way is getting a customer relationship management system. I mean, it took me 8 years. It did. It took me 8 years to get a customer relationship management system, right? So and when I got it, I was like, man, I sure wish I'd have got this 8 years ago. That's why I really push it. I push utilizing it. We use Wise Agent. If you don't use, I can coach you on Wise Agent because it's the one that I use. But there's others out there, right? I feel like Wise Agent is the most affordable for what it offers. There are others out there. Point is, you need to get one. I was on it yesterday. That's what I did. I made contact with 23 people that was in my database. 23 people. And guess what I did? Send them email. Send them an email about the newsletter. Stuff that I talked to y'all about last week about being the editor of the newsletter. Send them an email. Ask them if they want to subscribe and maybe get the email every month. Now, yeah, we're doing it every 2 weeks. But, hey, send it to you every month. Subscribe. I had a couple of people say, yeah, add me to the distribution list. And these are individuals that I hadn't talked to, right? Now, mind you, I've been reaching out to them. I've been sending them emails, reaching them on LinkedIn. But this particular person that responded, I hadn't had a dialogue with this person for over a year. But because it was in my customer relationship management system, my CRM, and it gave me the notification that, hey, this person needs to be contacted or reached out to, I did it. So I'm not sitting here remembering I need to make contact with this person. No, the system's doing it for me. So all I do is I'm going to work on something today. All I got to do, log into my system. It's going to generate me a list and say, look, this is the last time you talked to this person. In the notes, it's going to show you what y'all talked about. You need to do something. You need to send them a text. You need to try to find them on social media. You need to send them an email. You need to call them. You need to do something. You need to make contact with them because you need to remind them that you do real estate so they can send you what? A lead, right? Lead generator. So the follow-up protocol has to be key. Now, I'm going to send a couple of emails today to for sale by owners, right? Why am I going to send them emails? Because they're in my lead follow-up protocol. And today, what I said was that I spoke to him last week, right? One dude said he may have a prospective buyer, which, bro, they're not going to buy your house. The comps in the area is at 284. You asking 320. Why would they buy yours and not just buy one on the MLS where they have an agent associated with it? But I'm not going to tell them that because people don't like when you come at them like that. So you can't come at them like that. You got to say, okay, cool. You mind if I follow with you next week? And then he going to be like, yeah, that's cool. So it's next week. And guess what? I'm going to follow up with him. Now, am I just going to call him and say, hey, look, how's that buyer working out? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to send him a text. And the text is going to say, I think this is a good idea. Maybe if you want to get maximum value for your property, since it was flooded and need repairs, you might want to do a 203K program with it, right? So I'm gonna give him a recommendation, right? And you know, if you hire us, I could help you facilitate that process, right? Because why? I'm trying to get the listing, 320,000. I want it. I want that listing. Give me that one. Give me that. So and I got that one. I got another lady about listing her house. Now, how did I know to send it? Follow-up protocol, customer relationship management system. It reminds you. Last week I said I want to follow up with him today. Boom, it popped up, and I moved forward with it. So when we're talking about the skill set of making contact with your leads and consistent follow-up, these are the things we're talking about, and that's what I talked about in the right database management. Those are the kind of things that I talked about in that Create Your New Life that said the right database management, that video training. All right. And then Tricks of the Trade series talks about additional tools and resources. Now, these are tools and resources that you can use in your follow-up protocol, because you're gonna have people that go through your leads, right? This video right here, Tricks of the Trade. Make that a little bit. I can't see that. Okay, so Tricks of the Trade series, additional tools and resources. Now this video talked about, it gave us some insights on resources that we could use in the follow-up protocol. So this is what I mean. Now, when you are talking to people, or when you're following up with them, right? So you're here, right? So they were a lead. You pour them into the machine, and you just want that thing to turn over. You just want it to just stay right here, keep turning until you can get it to this one. So until you can get this lead right here, turning into the consultation, for instance, like what I'm doing with this for sale by owner guy, he's turning. I just got him turning right here. He was a lead, put him in the machine, he's just turning. Well, the way you keep him turning is that you have to continue to give them a reason to pay attention to you. So whether they're going to make a buying decision tomorrow, next month, in 6 months, next year, you got to keep them turning. And turning means paying attention to you, giving them a reason to pay attention. So you got to keep them turning right here. They're turning, leads just going around. Never let them out the machine. Never let them out the funnel. They got to stay in the funnel. And the way you keep them in the funnel is with your follow-up protocol. So now, the tools of the tricks and trade, it gives you things that you could keep them in the funnel with. Create a newsletter. Have the newsletter have good content. Keep them in the funnel. Make sure you add them to social media and consistently post on your social media. And inside your CRM, do a direct message. Like one of my people that I have them that's turning in the funnel, I direct message them on Instagram, because that's their social media of choice, right? They ain't on Facebook. They don't respond to text messages. They don't respond to emails. But when it comes to Instagram, boom, they respond to that. That's what I do. That's how I keep them turning until it's time to do something, right? And, you know, again, what am I trying to get? I'm either trying to get repeat business or I'm trying to get referrals. But if all I ever say is, hey, use me, or send me some business, send me somebody, who do you know? If all I ever do is do that to people, then guess what they're going to do? They're going to stop paying attention. And the moment they stop paying attention, they fall out of the funnel. They're not turning no more. So you got to keep them turning. So that tools and resource video gives some ideas of things that you can do to keep people constantly reminded and thinking about you and exposed to you, right? Different ways and different techniques to keep them turning, right? Because you want to get everything you can out of them. You want to get their business. You want to get their referrals business. You want to stay top of mind, right? Again, the one thing that I said to myself long ago was that I was done having people tell me they bought a house and forgot that I did real estate. I was done with that, right? So that means if you get a house and you use another real estate professional, it wasn't because you didn't remember that I do real estate. No, you just wanted to use somebody else, right? So yeah, I would rather have you ducking me. You know how some people, they don't want to tell you they use somebody else. See, I would want that, right? Duck me because you think that I'm gonna feel some kind of way, which I don't care, right? Because my lead generator's turned on. I'm good. I don't need your lead. I'm good. You good? Congratulations. Let me know when the housewarming is. It's all good. Don't matter. But what's not gonna happen is you say you forgot, and because that's on me, I'm gonna make sure that you don't forget. So all these leads that you generating, at that point, it's on you. All these leads that's going in here, and I'm talking about from day one until now, no lead left behind, right? Remember, no child left behind, no lead left behind, right? You keeping all of them, and you keep them in that turning, in that follow-up protocol. Because at some point, like I said, whether tomorrow, whether next month, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 6 years, hey, you want it to fall. They're going to fall in the consultation. Fall. They've been turning here for, like I had a client, one of my very first clients. It's funny now. It's like that eighth year, I started seeing clients that I did business with. You know, I helped them buy the house. Now they want to sell the house. Like I have a client right now, helped them buy the house. Now we renting the house out. So even with past clients, they turning because at some point they're going to fall into the consultation, right? And going through this sifter and boom, they done fell in the consultation into the next skill piece. So that follow-up, that keeping them turning in the funnel is extremely important. All right. Now, the last thing is, in addition to the create your night, in addition to the create your new life videos, inside of your 7-dot training, there are some Brian Buffini items of value. I was talking about this a little earlier, right? So if you go, matter of fact, I'm gonna go to it. Inside of good stuff. And that's the thing about, see what I just did, if the hyperlinks are live inside of this document. So it'll take you directly to where I'm trying to get you. So right here, Brian Buffini's items of value, if you click on that folder, it gives you some ideas of the things that Brian Buffini has that you can use to send to people as a way to keep them turning in that circle. Here's one right here, thinking about buying or selling a home. It's just some good information. Smart strategies for sellers. Keep in mind, taking advantage of your market. How to get the home you want. It's for buyers. Do your due diligence. Now look, these are, you could take this, you can email it to Office Max. You know, we get a 40% discount in Office Max for print. Take it to Office Max, get some of these printed, right? If you're going to an event, say you're going to a PTO meeting, go to a PTO meeting. Get some of these printed out, staple your business card on the bottom of them, and then ask, hey, I'm a real estate professional. My kid goes to school. You know, I would like to pass out some information about buying or selling a home. Is that okay? Right? And I mean, who's going to say no? Just like, look, it's just information. Like, it ain't a card, it ain't a flyer. I want to give you some information. Some people that may be thinking about buying a home or selling a house. And if they have additional questions, they can call me. But in the meantime, I can give them this. Right? So this is good information. Right? Or you could take it and do a digital. So if you look at inside of this folder, there are lots of them. And see, this is the thing, Brian, because I'm affiliated with Brian Buffini and his program, every month we get a new one. So it's a bunch of them in here. Now, I ain't put all of them in the folder. Why? Because I forget. I forget to put them in there. I'm sorry. But believe me, we have digital versions. We have them in the office as paper versions. You can just come and get some of them that you want to, even if you want to print it out and spend your money at Office Max, come to the office, look through the file that we have. We have some in the file. Look through the file and get about 10 or 15 of them. Staple your card on them, and you can use them as handouts when you're going to things, right? Passing information out. But those are items that you can use inside of this folder. Those are items that you can use, that you can utilize in this Brian Buffini that'll give people reason to continue to pay attention to you because they see you as an information source. They see you as a resource, as a, oh, Mike ain't bothering me. He ain't bothersome. Matter of fact, he's an expert. Oh, Margaret, she's always got good information when it comes to real estate. I never thought about that. Oh, Sean, yeah, man, he's a stand-up guy, man. He always really educates us on the process, right? You want them to always be thinking about you and not knowing they're thinking about you. Because anytime the thought or anytime the conversation or anything happens when it comes to real estate, you want it to automatically just move to the top of their head that you do real estate, right? You do real estate. So you have to be intentional about it, creating that environment. You want to keep them turning. Everybody you meet, everybody, especially the people that's leads, keep them turning right here until they, because at some point, as long as you keep them turning, paying attention to you, through your follow-up protocol, after you made your contact, they're going to fall into consultation. Boom. Because that's the next part of the pipe. All right. And that's what we're going to talk about next week. All right. So that's all I have for today. Do you have any questions, any comments for me? I can answer them for you, definitely. If not, like I said, I have my new music. Got some new music, Ice Cold by Audionautics. We're going to shut this thing down and Ice Cold. It's funny that that's the name of the song because it's been so ice cold the last couple of days here in Houston. But going to play the music. Go ahead and do your RSVPs. Come to these events. I think they will be well worth your time and effort. And you will definitely learn more about sales strategies and things that is going to help increase your bottom line, which is what we're looking to do. So let me get my music up and we can shut this thing down.
Shall we begin?
Yes, we shall. So, thanks. Another Create Your New Life real estate session in the books. Thank you for joining. RSVP for the events, for Ravina, for the sales tips with a twist. Make sure you RSVP. We're still building our success in real estate sales machine. Skill set number 2 in the books. Make contact 6 minutes. Follow up. Keep them in the funnel. Make your money. Guys, have a great week. God willing, we'll see you next week. Have a great weekend. Stay warm. Yep. That's right.